There's three main stages to this, I think. One is just the time between tournaments, so from one to the next, like a couple of weeks period or however long it is. The next one is on the day of the tournament, like going from when you wake up to leave, start traveling, to when you come back home. And the last bit is the sort of the hour or the half an hour before a tournament game where you're trying to prep. And we're going to cover all of these stages because really you need to be prepared in all of them in order to get like into the perfect place to play Melee mentally. So if you've got a big tournament coming up like Air 3 or maybe SCR 11 on the 6th of August, you're going to need to prepare in all three of these different areas to get really in the zone for Melee. Between tournament preparation, obviously between tournaments you need to practice, but that's just a general thing. You need to have a specific goal of what you need to practice, and to do this you need to kind of diagnose what went wrong with your past tournament experiences. So for example, like you want to look at your losses and you want to say what went wrong. Okay, like was it a matchup that you're not familiar with? Was it that you were choking horrendously, or was it did you maybe just get outclassed as a player? It's important to remember that when it comes to improving, looking at the matches that you lost is actually definitely more important than looking at the matches you won. Because the matches where you win, you aren't really being pushed or challenged. Like you're just doing what you already know. Whereas when you lose, like that's when you're running into a barrier or a wall, something you can't overcome. And all you need to do is find out what that is and figure out how you're going to overcome it. It's easy to walk away from a tournament and just go back to your mate's house or go to the pub and have a pint, but like what I would really recommend is as soon as you have a tournament game where you lose, just jot down somewhere in a notebook, on your phone or whatever, why you think you lost that game. Like, even though you might be salty or something like that, or like emotional, just try and jot it down immediately. Because even if what you wrote down is, I hate ice climbers, they're the worst character in the game, like, at least when you look back on that afterwards, in like a week's time or whatever, you understand that the problem is you don't know how to play against ice climbers. This doesn't have to be a long and arduous process. You just need to jot down a few thoughts right away whilst it's still fresh in your mind. It's easy to just go away from a tournament and not think about or play Melee for like a week or half a week or whatever, but it's like you really want to just have an idea of why you lost and have that in written form so you can go back to it and fix your mistakes. Right, the next stage of preparation is pre-tournament, and this starts from as soon as you start packing your bags to leave for an event, and right up until you get there, or right up until you play your first pools game. And in this time, you really need to just treat yourself right. Like there's an age-old saying, like, it might be a bit cliche now, like healthy body, healthy mind, but it's like realistically, Smash is a mental game, and you need to be like 100%. You need to be sharp. You need to be focused, and it's like any small thing that's detracting from that is only going to hurt you. You need to sleep well. You need to eat well, and these are things that are quite easy to like not bother doing or think that you can get away with. Like a lot of times you can get by on like 4 hours sleep and think like you feel fine, or you don't feel bad as such, but like, or you can skip a meal, you can skip on breakfast and something. It's like you're not feeling hungry necessarily, but it's just like, even though you're not aware of like a negative impact, you aren't at like completely 100%, which is where you need to be. And it's like, just do all those things. It's so simple, you know, going to sleep a bit earlier, making sure you go get some good food, not just some crappy takeaway, or not eating at all, which is what a lot of people do. It's such simple stuff, but it'll just improve your mindset enormously and just like allow you to be in a good place to play Melee. Finally, you need to leave all your baggage at the door, because anything that's going on in your real life, so like something, you had a stressful week at work, or like your ex is banging on at you about something, or some drama going on in your friends group chat, like just turn off your phone if you need to. Just put it in your bag for the tournament, because you don't need it. You're there to play Melee. Like what's going on in the outside world like isn't really of concern to you right now, and like if something's going to be distracting you, or something's going to be on your mind because you're looking at your phone all the time, like you just want to cut that out, because it's pointless and it's just going to be distracting you from what you actually want to be doing. So you've got a healthy mind and a healthy body, and you've studied your previous losses, you figured out your mistakes, and you try to work from it. But the final step is going from there to being 100% on Melee, 100% in the zone, thinking as fast as you need to, thinking about the game in the right way that you need to. Not just having a clear head, but having a focused mind. And to like, so I could teach you guys how to do this best, I actually spoke to the UK's #1 VwS Professor Pro, and this is what he had to say.
the two questions I want to ask you is, when you've got a big tournament coming up, so say it's like DreamHack you went to last week,
Yeah.
what are you saying to yourself? You're on the journey there, you're thinking about the upcoming tournament. In the coming days up to it, when you know you've got tough opponents, what are you saying to yourself to make you feel good
I
about
always
those
try to
matches?
play good people because, like, you have to play, like, the people. Because I'm from the UK, I don't have anyone that's really, like, hardcore. So I have to play, like, all of the good people to get in that mindset. Because it's actually really hard to snap into that play top-level player mindset without actually playing them. So that's the first thing I tried to do. Just try to warm up. Just warm up, play good people because I need to. And, yeah, that's about it, yeah.
So yeah, play lots of melee. Play melee against people who challenge you, not just against noobs and people who you destroy for free. Like, that might fill you with a little bit of confidence, it might make you feel good, but it's not challenging you or getting your brain in gear, and that's what you really need to do. You need to be forced into thinking about melee, and it's like, when you start getting good at melee, you'll realise that it's kind of quite a different experience playing against someone who you can beat on autopilot and playing against like a real opponent where you're constantly thinking and like having like a mental battle against them, and you can really feel that happening when you're playing. And that's what you want to be getting before your tournament games, so that you know, like, your brain is forced into working, and then like once you sit down on a tournament game, you're there. You know what to do. If you have a chance to see who's going to be in your pool or who your bracket game is going to be, like, before it comes up, it's probably wise to try and find someone else who plays that character, or maybe even the same person. They might not mind. Just get a bit of experience in the matchup. But like, maybe you won't learn how to play the matchup, but just, you want to remind yourself of what you need to do to beat their character, and you want to remind yourself of the tools that you want to be using. Because the worst case scenario is you sit down, you plug in, you do the stage striking, and then he goes, go, and then you don't know what you're going to do yet, and you suddenly are like, oh crap, how do I play against Marth? Or like, you might just like fall onto like your default options, or like a lot of people just run a nair, like, you know, because they haven't got, it's just like they go to thing. It's not like a calculated choice, they're just doing something. So what you really want to be doing is be prepared before he says go. Before you even stage strike, like, you want to be thinking, these are the tools I'm going to use against these characters. This is how I'm going to play the matchup. I know what to do. And you need to be there before an announcer says it. If you need to, just spend a couple minutes before a game just visualizing, just thinking in your mind, just seeing the match, just thinking, what am I going to do? What is he going to do? What's his main tools? And just see it in your mind. And then, like, once you're used to, once you have an expectation of what's going to happen, then when you go into the game and the guy says, ready, go, you will be ready to go, and you will be able to beat your opponent.